about a protection for empaths. What are things that you can do to feel protected, not absorb everything around you like you're a sponge, or feel like you have to be a monk living on a hill, you know? So here's some quick things that I recommend. They're things that I have done, and I've also taught my clients on how to protect their energy. The great thing with this is that you can do it anytime and anywhere. Um, so the first one, let's just go on. It's the dial technique. Okay, it's easy peasy. It's just a visualization that allows you to like reconnect with your own energy and disconnect from the absorption of others. So just as it sounds, you're going to visualize a dial. All right, and as you visualize the dial, it's like a circular structure that's going to go from 0 to 10, where 0 is nothing and 10 is all. So here is where you put your intention. The intention is to how much you want to absorb. And next, I want you to just visualize it turning from where it is now to where you want it to be. So if you're feeling really drained or tired, or you're just not in a good space, then most likely you're falling between like the 8 to 10, just depending on how anxious you are. So just simply visualize yourself turning it, dialing it back down to 0. Um, I've also found saying or asking myself this question, asking myself, okay, is this mine? And when I hear no, which is your first intuitive answer, for your intuition never lies, and the first answer that you usually receive is your intuitive guidance. So when you ask the question, is this my energy? You'll hear yes or no. Is this my emotion that I'm feeling? Are these my thoughts that I'm carrying? And when you hear no, then you have a good gauge that you're absorbing someone else's stuff. 9 out of 10, you'll also probably visualize or pick up the person in your mind. You might hear their name, you might see them, they might cross your mind, you may see their face, like in visualization. And my thing for that is to not doubt it, because that most likely is the person that's pulling from you right now. Now, all the time it's not intentional. Sometimes it's just that, okay, well, maybe you're their confidant, maybe you're the person that they rely on to speak with, or maybe they're just thinking about you, and somehow it's draining you because maybe you care a lot about that person as well, and you want to help them. So it's not always like a bad or a malicious intent where they're trying to harm you when they're draining you. It's just that that's the person that's responsible right now, you know? And no, and there's no worries, no problems, no nothing. What we simply do is just turn the dial back. I've also found another technique in regards to just saying return to sender. Just all right, I only want myself. I only want to feel my energy and just allow myself to fill in. And I do this with another visualization, okay? And just I don't have a name for this one, but just like visualizing like a white light at the top of my head and just absorbing myself, refilling up with this light within myself of my own energy as I see their energy leaving mine. Okay? So for example, if you're in a discussion with somebody, like how I want to give you an example of when you want to dial it up and when you want to dial it down. So when you might want to dial it up is like, just think of an example of when you're in a discussion with somebody, all right, and you really want to be able to understand what they're saying and what they're feeling. You want to empathize with them. So in this scenario, you'd want to dial it up. So you might want to move it over to an 8 or a 9 or 10, because you know what? You want to have that level of compassion and understand what it is that they are feeling, what they're experiencing. And by doing this, by giving yourself permission to connect with that person, you allow yourself to really have that level of empathy and be able to connect with them on that heart space, in that emotional space, and for you to relate and really bond on the subject matter. Another case scenario could be where you may be. Oh, and of course, the other part is when you are feeling extremely drained already, you know? So if you're feeling drained already, then naturally you're probably at a 10. So you want to bring that back down to zero so you're absorbing less. So those are two scenarios of when you're dialing it up and when you're dialing it down. Okay. And it's essential for your own well being, especially as an empath. This is all a part of, like, as I've gone through this, I realize this is a part of who we are, and it's a part of our spiritual gifts. And not all of it is all empathy, but we'll get into that as well, because it may be a part of like your clairsentience, where you just have the ability to sense or feel exactly what's going on with someone. And just having that level of awareness is making you more in tune with your spiritual gifts. Okay. But I hope this helps you, and I will see you in the next episode.